Oh my God. But yeah, look at this. This is the logo that people voted on. I mean, they said they liked it better out of the two that you liked because I said I put it on Twitter. It's like, hey, which one's better?
Yeah.
This one actually got the more votes, though I don't like the and over the H. But I'm like, whatever. We can change it every time. But since this is what people voted on, I'm like, I will throw it up for the background. Um, but I
Well,
know
can we
you're
talk
gonna.
about your fingers though? Like, what's going on with your hands? Let's talk about that.
Let me see there. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I didn't say AI was perfect because there is,
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the geometry there, and I don't know what's going on there. Are you holding a finger? It looks really weird.
it looks like my so one hand that yeah. So let me put this. So the finger like
Yeah,
my other hand, because if I'm turning around, so yeah, my left hand, the one with the thumb up, actually looks normal.
sure.
If you really think about it,
Yeah,
that one looks. I mean, my forefinger looks a lot shorter than my middle finger. But
it
then it's
does.
like my thumb is turned back. Yeah, my
Yeah,
fingers are turned back. I will tell you,
yeah.
I was talking to Marty about this. Like AI has come so far because this is just all I did was two guys doing a podcast. Then I had to do two cartoon guys because of the fact that they actually threw in live people, and I'm like, and I throw our faces in, on top.
Yeah,
I Photoshop that in later because
sure.
it's kind of our thing. But
Hmm.
there is so much shit that goes wrong and so much funny thing. I didn't even notice the hands because I was like, all right, this looks good, because I can put our faces on. There's other ones where like they're just doing funny shit. I'm like, oh, it just doesn't work. Like the funny thing about our faces is with your beard and my hat,
Yeah.
it works
Hmm.
because sometimes someone might have bigger hair. I'm like, well, I'm going to need my hat to cover that. Or someone, just the way things are looking, their chin is funny. I'm like, oh, Soto's
Yeah.
beard will cover that shit. It always works out. That's why I'm like, we got a low and we got a high. So I'm like,
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
great, because no matter what,
Perfect.
I mean, obviously, because I wanted to keep you on the left and me on the right, because Soto and Chad. But in our
Yeah.
thumbnails, I have to play around with it, because yeah, if I am like, okay, it works, and sometimes it doesn't, and I'm like, but anyhow, yeah, the AI has created so much funny shit, and it's kind of scary, because I'm like,
Yeah.
there might come a day, maybe not in our life, actually, probably in our lifetime, where we could type out a movie and they'll have it somehow live and playing. Like, I mean,
Oh
to a
no,
point.
it's going there. Like there's like AI video now. I don't know if you've seen this on the internet, but it's getting close to the point where you can literally type in an AI prompt and it looks like a movie.
AI has gone so far, and yes, there is so much. Like I think I showed you some of the logos, and I specifically wrote the Soto and Chad show in text, and blah blah
Hmm.
blah, and it did some explanations. But sometimes they can't spell it right. Like you saw the Shid show, but sometimes it'd be like the Soto
Which made
show
me
with
laugh.
Sootoo, and then like
Oh,
HA show, like there, and like I've had CHID. Like I'm like, all right, AI is getting a lot
the shit
better,
show.
but
Yep.
like they still, they have problems with like letters, and I don't know, how they do it, but it is. I love it because it's easy for thumbnails. It's kind of a cheap way. I'm
Yeah.
not an artist, but I'm just like, and then I just get our faces, that Emma made, and just like no
Hmm.
background. And I'm like, yeah. So I all I did for like the podcast part was like, hey, two guy podcast talking about movies, television, and video game references in the background. Obviously, they cannot use licensed stuff,
Of course
but
not.
that's why you
No.
kind of see all this.
It looks like I
Reviews.
have Groot behind me with a lightsaber. That's kind of cool. I wouldn't
Yeah,
have thought
I
about that.
mean, they'll come close. They will come close to certain things, and sometimes if you do it right, I've done like horror themes, and I've seen like Jason, and so you can get licensed things in there, but sometimes depending on how you word it, they're like, "Well, we're not allowed to do this," so whatever. And I get it, but yeah, so many of these appeared, and this was just kind of the best one where yeah, we can get our faces on and it just looked pretty decent, and I'm like, I'm loving this. I'm like, I just love playing around with AI. Jill's the one that told me she was doing like little characters. I'm like, wait, this is free? I can do this like 15 times, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, this is fucking great. So
It's very useful. Very useful. Absolutely.